Hey everyone, welcome in. I'm super excited to kick things off with this new series of live streams that I'll be doing with you guys. Going forward, I'll be streaming every Friday or Saturday morning. Today I am a little late. Still trying to figure out which day works best and obviously which day works best for all my followers. So stay tuned as we experiment with that. But basically, the idea behind these streams are going to be like a quick recap of what's going on in the tech world with a strong focus on Apple products and news. Today, we're going into the release of iOS 18.2. We are going to touch base on OpenAI's new product, Sora, and the rumored new HomePod device that's expected to launch maybe like late next year. So without further ado, let's jump in. Thanks for being here, and we'll go through this. We'll start off with iOS 18.2. So iOS 18.2 introduces the next wave of Apple Intelligence, the Emoji, and the, what's it called? The Playground, the Image Playground app, which kind of generates images using text descriptions or concepts from your photo library, offering different various animations and illustration styles. So you can create pictures, and the Emoji, you can create custom emojis. Now, the question here becomes, how much are you really going to use this? Creating emojis and the image playground, all of that takes time. And is that something that you're going to take some time out of your day in order to create? Not only to create, but you have to think about what you want. Then you're going to wait for the response. And worst of all, if it doesn't happen to be what you're looking for, how happy are you going to be with the product that is being presented to you? So I've been playing around with it for about 2 to 3 weeks since I got access. I did have to wait. So when you do update to iOS 18.2, you have to jump on a wait line. But after a while, you get access to it and you kind of play around with it. I made like 2 or 3 images and then very soon got bored. So that's the real question. Like, are you guys going to take the time out of your day to create these images? For me, like I said, I made it once or twice and then decided that, this isn't for me. So that's kind of my take on the image playground and the Emoji aspect of iOS 18.2. Now, something that kind of interests me more is the ChatGPT integration with Siri, because now you can ask it more complex questions and hopefully not hear that response like, I can't help you with that. So that, I shouldn't say the word, actually, I'm just going to call it the what should I say? The assistant. Let's just call it the assistant, the Apple assistant, because if I say the word, it might activate some of your guys' Apple assistants or mine. In any case, the ChatGPT integration, I believe that's going to be helpful in all sorts of aspects of trying to actually answer questions and actually be useful. The so-called smarter Siri. Dang it, I said it again. My bad. In any case, well, we got ChatGPT integration and that now. Also, for anybody rocking an iPhone 16 series, the visual intelligence feature where you kind of like long press on this camera control button, and then you can identify objects, whether that's a place or a business card. I actually find it very useful for that business card aspect of the visual intelligence. So if you are lucky enough to have an iPhone 16 series, it doesn't matter if it's a regular 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, all of them have the visual intelligence feature. Now, once again, I've tried it. It's nice. Very similar to the Google Lens aspect competition. Apple always seems to be a little late to these type of scenarios when it comes to releasing these things. So let's move on. What else do we have? iOS 18.2 also kind of brings the like the different mail app summaries and quick responses. Talking about that, the writing tools, you can now kind of give it a tone that you want, whether that's a more professional tone, a more friendly tone, or if you just wanted to summarize all together. So that's kind of helpful for those of you that don't want to take the time to kind of write it out, or if it's a huge email thread, 16, 17 emails deep, you can kind of regain what it is that has been discussed in that email. What else does iOS 18.2 bring us? I know I had a topic. Give me 1 second. Let me look it up. So we've touched on Smarter Siri with ChatGPT integration, the image playground, going with the image playground and all that creating stuff. So there's a new image wand in the notes, which can kind of help you create an image out of your sketch. So let's say you drew a quick sketch in your notes to kind of help you remind you what the note was about, whether that's kind of like I've drawn trees and stars and stuff like that. And then you use the image wand to kind of like circle around it, and it creates a sketch for you, like an actual image for you out of your sketch. So that image wand, once again, it becomes one of those things. How often are you going to use it? How useful is it going to be? If you want your notes to look a little bit more professional or like just a little bit more put together, then yeah, that feature is going to be useful for you. I don't know if I'll go back through all my notes and circle around all my sketches to make them look more appealing. I don't think I'll take the time to do that. Anyways, that's the image wand. We've already covered visual intelligence, the writing tools. One of the things that I didn't touch about the writing tools is that you can convert your text into a poem. Once again, how much are you going to use that? Up to you. And we've already discussed the mail app updates, kind of like the email thread summarize and the smart replies. So iOS 18 is, it's a good step forward for Apple Intelligence. Now, Apple has been doing this thing where they kind of slowly release these features. They don't longer kind of have a huge release, like for example, iOS 14 or 15. In the recent years, we've kind of gotten like every 18.2, and then we have 18.3, and then kind of slowly release features nowadays. So it's not the huge update that we've gotten. All right, so Apple Intelligence, that covers Apple Intelligence. The next thing that I wanted to cover was OpenAI's Sora. So OpenAI's Sora, it's a new video generation model where you can generate videos from text prompts. So it kind of handles complex scenes, including multiple characters or backgrounds, specific actions. Now the physics of it's kind of weird. So if you kind of ask it for a walking person or an animal traveling, now the legs kind of look weird. It doesn't look natural. So you can almost immediately notice that it's an AI generated video. However, with it getting better, how fast is it going to be, or how long will it take for somebody to take advantage of this tool that we widely have spread now to spread misinformation? So yes, there's a current watermark. I think it's on the bottom left. I'm not 100% sure. And it kind of lets you identify that it's an AI generated content. But obviously that can easily be cropped out. So it kind of raises concerns about deep fakes and manipulating videos. There's, further, like, what are the further implications that we haven't even thought about? Balancing creative potential with ethical concerns. I mean, as it gains wider use, that'll definitely be something to talk about. But it's exciting, and at the same time, I can see why people will have some natural fear or anxiety about it. But I mean, I've used it a couple times. It seems to do okay with the text prompts. I just need to get better at using the tool, but it's pretty interesting. So the last thing I wanted to kind of cover today was the rumored new home pad. It's a home pod in essence with a display. So reports suggest that it's going to be like a 7-inch display aimed to enhance like smart home integration. So the expected functionalities of this product would be like facilitating FaceTime calls, serving as a center hub for the Apple ecosystem, kind of controlling your other smart home devices. So it's quite interesting. Is it one of those things that you need? Probably not. Is it one of those things that can make your life more convenient? Yeah. But is it a little too late? Is it a little too late for Apple to enter this? Or is there room for growth? Because for the most part, the smart home devices haven't really changed in the last few years. Once they introduced like your basic, what is it called? Like the cameras up front, the cameras inside, changing light bulbs, like the color light bulbs, all that stuff, opening garage doors with your phone, all that. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff as long as the device is Wi-Fi enabled. So can Apple come introduce something that actually makes it more convenient and actually more helpful? That's the real question here. And for me, as far as like, I'd be interested to see if it actually helps with your FaceTime calls. Like right now, my workaround for FaceTime calls, whenever it is a family event, whenever I do have my family around me and we're maybe FaceTiming with my mom or my parents. So I use the Apple TV and with I don't know what update it was. I think it was iOS 17 where you can use your iPhone as a camera. So I put them on the TV and then I use my iPhone for them to see us. And it works well. It kind of picks up who's talking and kind of zooms in on them. And it's a nice way to FaceTime on a bigger screen. But could this potential home pad be better at doing something like that? That's kind of what I'd be waiting for. Now, would this device be able to know that it's different people talking to it, or is it going to be one of those where there's a default account and that's the account that calls out and receives messages and does all that stuff for you? Or will it be able to recognize your face, like something like a Face ID, and say, oh yeah, Hector's on here, or Victoria's on here, or X person's on here, and kind of sign in with their Apple ID? That'd be interesting to see what Apple does there. That pretty much covers up the recap for the week. Like I said, these recaps, I'll try to do them every Friday or Saturday. I'm gonna experiment with the time. I'm gonna experiment with obviously the day and the time to see which one works better for everybody. I'm gonna try to do them a little earlier. I think today I got a little backtrack with all the other stuff that I was doing, but I feel like these could be useful just to kind of keep us up to date and help me answer questions throughout the week. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and I'll see you in the next live.